Namaste, namaskaram. Currently, we are in a period of great transition from the Kali Yuga to the Sat Yuga, to the dawning of the Golden Age, the New Earth, some refer to it as. And such periods are always marked by tremendous social upheavals, and radical political changes. Now, in the field of politics, one teaching that I can provide, one finger pointing the way, is to stay out of politics, to stay in the middle path, because politics by nature has been created, has been designed to be contentious and divisive. That is what it is meant to do, to keep people outwardly focused and not inwardly focused to where the true power resides, where your true power resides. There's no great white savior on a white pony with his suit of armor coming to save you. I'm sorry. You are your own savior. Now, moving along, I bring that up because the greatest teaching that you can learn is stillness. There is where your power lies, in stillness, the middle path of the Christ. Now, traditionally, this is important to understand. Traditionally, and let me just say this, I have a black belt degree in a very serious style of Japanese karate, Kyokushinkai karate. It's known nowadays as US Oyama karate, but I spent many years doing that, 15 years. And I know about discipline within an Eastern context, not necessarily within an Eastern occult context, like a very serious style of yoga, but trust me, the style of karate that it was also, it involved hard style external, but internal discipline as well. Meditation, a lot of meditation, along with a lot of physical activity within an Eastern discipline setting, a Zen type samurai setting. Now, traditionally though, admission to the more Eastern, the occult, the more occult, like Raja Yoga, these schools, certain Eastern schools, occult schools, depended upon the chelas, that is the disciple, the initiate or dedicated student. And admission to these schools depended upon proof of the ability to remain motionless for a 3-hour test period. All right, to remain motionless for 3 hours. That was your test for admission. Now, the average individual currently in our tension-fraught age of the dominance of the digital matrix, where your lower animal nature is constantly bombarded with stimulus, cannot remain mentally absorbed and physically motionless for 3 minutes or even 10 minutes, not even to suggest or think about 3 hours, as you are expected to accomplish through meditation, through Sukhasana. Now, this is just providing you with a context of where to begin, because quite simply, the most profound psychosomatic, the most profound occult teaching that a person of today's day and age can grasp, can assimilate into their daily walk, their daily life, is to practice pranayama, breathing. Now, there's a particular method of breathing that activates your vagus nerve system, which is the gateway to your God mind, to your Pachamama mind. And I'm gonna share that. I'll put the technique up on a whiteboard here just shortly, but I want to lay the context about, be a little bit more serious, because I tend to make videos sometimes in a reactionary way, sometimes on comments that are left on the videos that I make. And, and I still have people that want to debate Jesus with me, or tell me that I'm going to hell, or that I have satanic hand gestures, that these mudras, I'm a Satanist. So I feel compelled to shed a little bit of light about more about my idea about these techniques, these spiritual technologies. And, by nature, I'm very contentious. I'm a very feisty individual. I like to fight physically. That is why at a very early age, I channeled that into hardstyle Japanese karate. I was a high school student doing it, and I maintained that practice through my college years and then beyond. And I'm infinitely grateful for that, because it allowed me to channel that natural aggression and desire for physical confrontations into a very positive way. However, that energy is still residual in my mental, spiritual makeup, where I can, my nature is to fight. I like to argue. I like to debate. I like to prove others wrong. However, it's all energy. All this is energy. And that is what is important, is the energy that you maintain within yourself. Not anybody else's words, not trying to prove somebody wrong, but your own energy in your own daily walk. And my daily walk involves information, consciousness. That is what I'm truly most happy engaged in, is information. And that is my stillness. That is my meditation. But it is important to realize that we're in a time of great transition from the energies that are coming in from the central sun, that are being distributed, disseminated here within this realm. But the 5D energy that everybody talks about, the fifth dimensional energy, the energy of the new earth, is an energy of sovereignty, of self-empowerment. And generally, I try to be the finger that points the way towards certain techniques, and let people kind of do some of their own spiritual investigations and whatnot. And sometimes I see myself more as a cheerleader for this movement, for this consciousness, and kind of taking some flack from the people that are still trapped within 3D. And the 3D realm right now is all about fear. Okay, you turn on the news, everything is a constant bombardment meant to promote fear. That is what the 3D realm is, beyond the physical. I mean, that's the physical realm that we live in. But right now, Satan, the god of this world, is in control of that, because the digital matrix, all of that, all of the war on consciousness, that is all in the hands right now of Satan. And I won't say any more than that. The adversary, but that is just nature. That is the way it is. That is the earth that we stand upon to rise in consciousness. And the 4D realm right now is the realm of thoughts, of ideas. If you know what egregores are, those are concentration clouds of concentrated thought forms. The egregores right now in this realm are reptilian, that are promoted by the Holly Hellwood cult, the child molestation cult, the deep state dark cabal, the satanic, nefarious, disgusting practices of the lower, that have worshipped the lower animal energies. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is the realm that we stand upon to raise our consciousness. But you see, they've trapped it. They've trapped people in that realm to think that existence is all about satiating those energies. And that is the war on consciousness. And that the 4D realm is the realm that we journey through, we traverse to get to the 5D energy force that is alive right now, is present here and now on our planet. This 5D higher energy consciousness of the God force is very powerful, and you have to follow that energy, which means that as long as you're tuning into that energy, you're going to see that old path, old practices, old ideas, they dissolve in this new energy. Certainly, and it's a moment by moment thing sometimes. But if you are finding that, me personally, if I'm getting led to more contentious energy, if I'm getting a little bit more annoyed by my environment, I'm getting a little riled up, feisty, I want to start practicing my karate kicks. Well, then I have to kind of take a moment back, step it down, and I'm practice my breathing, pranayama. And I'm going to share an exact technique for that. That is basically the foundation of everything to follow. Like I said, the 3D realm is a realm of fear right now. People are going to be all embroiled in the days ahead about politics leading up to this USA election. All right. The 4D realm is still controlled by the egregores of the reptilian AI digital matrix, the war on consciousness, and that is all what American politics is all about. The 5D realm is the realm of self-empowerment and manifestation, and that is what I'm trying to get people to understand, that the gods are inside. The gods inside rule your mind, and you create either heaven or hell based on your intention, your attention. Okay, we can't control nature, so we abuse it. And this is the reason we're not in accord with nature. We don't get close to nature. We're not, because we can't control it. We can't dominate it. And if it cannot be controlled or dominated by our religion, then it is considered an outsider, an evil. The cutting down of forests, the mistreatment of animals, the elimination of native customs, of native spiritual technologies from nature-oriented peoples. We are separated from nature. We have brotherhood only with that which our group tells us to associate with. Dominion over the beast is taken literally. We don't understand the beast not to be of the field, but to be of our own lower nature. And you dominate the beast of your lower nature by entering into stillness. All right. Now, like I said, this is a period of great transition and stillness, learning how to be still, even if you can only do it for 3 minutes, 10 minutes out of your day, just to slow down and focus on breathing, will be the most important time you have spent, more important than anything else that you've been engaged in. And like I said, in Eastern occult schools and things of that nature, you had to be able to remain still for 3 hours. Now, I want you to understand a little bit more profoundly the context of where ultimately the teachings that I adhere to, that I believe, that I try to study daily, because I'm not an expert, I'm still assimilating consciousness. But the teachings, the way that I want to disseminate information is added incrementally as I absorb it. And I'm able to authentically present it and share it. And my Western education, though, I have a college degree, believe it or not, has enamored me, though, of this hypothesis, this synthesis, this antithesis, or thesis and antithesis, and the synthesis thereof, this dialectic and argument type of debating. But my Indian training has made me more than willing. I've in background in Kriya Yoga, as I said, Japanese martial arts. But those types of teachings, those methodologies, are all based in experience and logic for your existence by being. Now, my lifestyle, somewhat I'm Western, I still occasionally I'll eat meat, a steak or whatever, but by and large, my disposition is Hindu. And all that entails. I certainly, if I'm going to say that I'm part of any religion, it's the Hindu religion. And that is not, and if you understand what that means, you understand that as a very Catholic, that is a very universal religion in its true sense, not the fake Catholicism that they try to, but anyway, moving on. But philosophically, I adhere to the classical school of Samkhya. Okay, Samkhya was developed by a contemporary of Buddha, the Kapila, around 500 BC. And like Buddhism, Samkhya is non-theistic. Samkhya provides the theoretical constructs for the practice of yoga. It is the context, this spiritual science, Samkhya. And again, like Buddhism, is perfectly reconcilable with the new religion of the West, which is quantum science, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. In my estimation, is the new religion of the West. And that is ultimately where the synthesis of East and West will come together. And it is coming together through quantum science. Now, the theory of Samkhya and the practice of yoga are so compatible with certain Western positions that I, without paradox, support social sociobiology and favor biochemical reductionism. And sociobiology is the belief that human behavior is deeply cemented in biological necessity. So our 3D realm is important when it's not being dominated by the 4D realm of reptilian consciousness or the lack thereof. Now, while biochemical reductionism is the doctrine that sees changes in neurotransmitter brain levels, and this is leading to the breathing pranayama that I'm going to share. Now, neurotransmitter brain levels being changed and is responsible for brain function variations and hence psychiatric states and mood, both sociobiology and reductionism seem quite probable and reasonable that they present no problem for the Samkhya philosopher, as Samkhya views mind and body as merely different manifestations of the energy matter dance of creation, and neither affect the core essence of being, the transcendental self, a Purusha. Purusha is consciousness or spirit, your God mind, your God force, juxtaposed with Prakṛti, nature or matter, including the human mind and emotions. So Samkhya is this science of the dance, the energy matter dance of creation. And the doorway to all of this, the most profound technique that I can provide with you right now is as follows. Thank you for sticking around this long with this sort of testimony of a sort. But please hit the subscribe button. Perhaps even leave this video a thumbs up if you at least could give me a thumbs up on the sincerity of this message, with perhaps maybe not with the greatest eloquence and ease of presentation, but the sincerity should earn me a thumbs up nonetheless. Now I want to share this technique, okay? This is based on breathing, and essentially it's breathing out. Your out breath is 2 seconds, at least 2 seconds longer than your in breath. I breathe in for 4 seconds. I breathe in through my nostrils because my nostrils have natural filtration system, hair follicles. And you're breathing in through your nostrils for whatever count you're comfortable with and can achieve. And let's say you do it for 6 seconds. You breathe in for 6 seconds. Breathe out for 8 seconds. Okay, and do that 10 times, that cycle. But whether it's breathing in for 3 seconds, long as you're breathing out at least 2 seconds longer. So you're breathing out 5 seconds, you breathe in 3 seconds, you breathe out 5 seconds, you breathe in 7 seconds, you breathe out 9 seconds or longer. But the idea being that the out breath is asymmetrically longer than the in breath. You feel me? If you feel me, hit the thumbs up on this one. But this is how we begin. This is the foundation, pranayama, breathing, science of breathing. And here I've kind of written it out a little bit more completely for you right there, you know. But don't let anyone sell you the belief that improving your state, your spiritual dimensions, requires a special program or lots of money. Okay, just hit the subscribe button. I got your back. We have the person that commented, Yasin, on the last video I made, you know, kind of prompted this video for me to kind of do a little bit deeper dive. I'm not an expert, folks. I'm just like you. I'm just like you know, anybody else caught up in this madness of transition, this fourth turning that we're in. You know, I try to get information from all sources, but I'm going to tell you the single most best technique, practice to understand and to inculcate and assimilate within your daily walk is breathing, is pranayama. And in particular, this method of breathing in, breathing out with your out breath being longer. And this will improve. And now that we're saying you have just improved your state on the scale in the here and now, because this is also very important. The here and now, where your attention goes, should be always in the moment. What you're doing, what you're focusing upon, where your attention currently is, not to be scattered. Because in my estimation, Satan is scattering, is fragmentation. God is unity. God is focus. And the ego tends to be scattered. It tends to be, worried about the future or the past, and it's not content with the moment and the perfect here and now. And by breathing and practicing this pranayama technique, you thereby begin to narrow your focus in the here and now, and could ultimately achieve being still for 3 hours. Okay, I've done that myself and then some through various different experiences I've had in the past. I've been through that. I know that I command my body. I control this 3D realm. I dominate fear. I dominate the 3D realm. I dominate the 4D realm of the reptilian egregores. And that is how I'm able to get into the 5D realm of the pyramid of light of Yeshua and the cosmic Christ. So it's all based upon breathing. All right. And you have to view your will as sacrosanct, as your will is holy. And your energy is your will. And you don't scatter your energy. You don't waste it with debating. If someone's trying to gaslight you and tell you you're going to hell because you don't worship Jesus. Well, like my friend said, we don't worship Jesus. We crucify Jesus. And thus we establish Christ consciousness and the new earth golden age timeline. So I realize perhaps I kind of went off on different tangents, but essentially the foundation of all these spiritual technologies is stillness and breathing, and your will and your energy as your own, because the 5D energy is sovereign energy. There's no time for bickering. There's no time for debating. To be in the realm, you have to, the 5D realm of the new earth, you have to follow the energy. And the energy is leading you ever upwards and higher, because that is what is coming into this planet right now. And it's meant for us to ascend. It is meant to bring people closer together. And if anyone's wanting to engage in debate and nitpicking and all this stuff, or gaslighting as they call it, just kind of move along, just kind of, okay, buddy, yeah, that's great. But stay focused in your own walk, and there's no sure way to do that by breathing and hitting that subscribe button. Namaste, namaskaram.